Adoption is a very risky business. Parents believe it's better to adopt a child at birth because there's nothing that can hurt a child in the womb. Closed adoptions are the rule of the land. All children are born equal. It's better to adopt siblings together because then they'll feel related and have another child to grow up with. Adoption's like any other way of having a child. Once the child's adopted, new parents are totally responsible for all costs of bringing up the child. And every one of these beliefs is wrong. A survey of families who adopted children found that 84% of children had a state-defined special need, 68% had an educational delay, 83% exhibited some serious behavior problem. That is, adopted children usually have disabilities, educational delays, and often serious behavior problems. Parents believe all children have adjustment problems, have tantrums and meltdowns, need to be taught and retaught, and any young adult needs to learn and relearn life skills, could have psychological problems, and could encounter drugs and alcohol. Eventually, the child will learn and will grow up, or not. All children act like children, right? Children don't always adopt traits their parents want them to have. Some children are tested and show characteristics of mental disability. In classroom learning, disruptive children are not appreciated. They rarely get rewarded for success, but can get attention other ways. Where did the disabilities come from? Too late to help, parents find symptoms that match. The child does not appreciate complex ideas like honesty and trust. Anxiety garbles words as they're heard. The child doesn't trust what doesn't make sense to him or her. The child relearns and relearns how to brush teeth and buy groceries, hygiene and life skills. Requires constant supervision. The prospect for adult independence is unlikely. The needs are phenomenal. The child needs lifetime supervision and medical and legal assistance. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is not diagnosed. Each separate disorder is diagnosed or treated as a separate illness. It impacts the circulatory system, heart, lungs, brain. FASD symptoms depend on when the pregnant birth mother drank alcohol, any alcohol. The body survives with damaged parts. FASD children are not diagnosed. Children are drilled on life skills. They're taught and retaught how to review and study for tests. They're not often rewarded for their efforts, which are often judged as failures. They're discarded because it takes 100 times the effort to direct and support these kids. Where did we go wrong? Was it a poor diagnosis? He's just being a boy? Was it impatient schools? He's been transferred from school detention to a residential facility in Colorado. How do we fix the problem? The corpus callosum does not regenerate. Early detection, training, and treatment can help FASD children. It costs more than 100 times what other children cost. But the easiest fix is prevention. Stop pregnant women from drinking alcohol. Parent influence is cut off when mentally deficient kids are legally and medically independent at age 18. Eventually, FASD youth often end up on the street. We know where that leads: drugs, alcohol, and prison. The legal system is not the right place for the mentally disabled. Adoption is a very risky business. Tell prospective parents about adoption, that alcohol can hurt a child in the womb. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is common, devastating, and permanent. Closed adoptions are not the rule of the land. All children are not born equal. Many FASD children will never be self-sufficient. It's not better to adopt siblings together. Trying to raise more FASD children doesn't make any of them tenable. Adoption is not like any other way of having a child. 80% of adopted children have physical or mental problems. Once the child's adopted, new parents are not totally responsible for all costs of bringing up the child. If diagnosed, federal laws support persons with disabilities. FASD is not diagnosed, however, and parents may get nothing. The U.S. National Vital Statistics reports almost 4 million births in 2013. 41% to unmarried parents. What they don't say is that perhaps 9% of the babies are born with FASD. That's 275,000 disabled babies a year. Don't adopt until this is fixed. It costs the government $100,000 a year to support one FASD young adult in a residential school. If the public and prospective adoptive parents refuse to accept exorbitant costs of raising mentally deficient children, federal agencies will act. The public and federal agencies significantly reduce smoking in America to improve public health. We and federal agencies can campaign no more maimed and disabled babies by 2020. Send the agencies this message now. Send the message below with your plea to these 8 agencies. It's provided in the attached description file. The message is Stop This Carnage Now. Campaign Births Free of Fetal Alcohol Syndrome by the year 2020. Get the message out to the public that any alcohol will destroy young fetus. Also, legislate in Congress. Here's an example of a United States alcohol pricing and use bill. Federalize liquor package stores. Allow liquor sales to those over the age of 21. Prevent youths from obtaining liquor at dollar stores, department stores, and grocery stores. Control prices of liquor based on alcohol content. Focus taxes on minimum prices to remove the inexpensive sources of alcohol favored by high-risk drinkers. Index alcohol prices to inflation. The immediate benefits will be prenatal care and advising of pregnant young women to avoid alcohol, and reporting the effects of alcohol, treatment of mental disabilities. We would have a reduction of traffic accidents, violent crime, and aggravated assaults, court and incarceration costs, and reduction of devastating spectrum disabilities due to fetal alcohol disorders. What we want is better mental and physical health for Americans.